What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, Render is literally making the move that we have been talking about and hoping that it would for the last few weeks, and so I want to show you exactly what's happening and what I'm doing, so let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into it. So, over the last few weeks, we have been talking about this structure that Render has been in. Of course, the highs, the lows, created this triangular structure. Now, as of course, Render's price did start to pull back outside of that structure down here, I told you all what I was expecting. I said what I'm expecting is that Render is going to try to find some support on one of its three major key levels of support. Key level of support number one being right here around $7.11. Key point number two being at $6.50. Key point number three being at $5.90. Now, of course, the reason we knew that is because historically speaking, over my studies of crypto, what I've noticed is that when a crypto breaks through an ascending level of support, as its price does venture downwards, it is most likely to find support at the same levels that it used to build that previous level of ascending support. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, we lost support here. What was the last few times we hit that line? Boom, we hit that line here, we hit that line here, we hit that line here. Those are your three breakdown points, and typically what I do is I buy on those points because they can serve as good bounce levels, right? They can serve as good levels to try to bounce you back to the upside. Now, interestingly enough, what's happening right now with Render is that is exactly what happened. We use those key levels of support almost exactly to break back up towards the upside, as it is now trying to retest this triangular structure in which it was in. Now, one of two things is going to happen here. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm prepared for both. So let me tell you what I am expecting. Okay. Now, once we have now seen Render's price starting to retest back to the upside. Okay. Let's get this beautiful bad boy drawn on perfectly. There we go. What you're going to figure out is that one of two things is going to happen. Render's price is either going to get rejected, or it's going to return back into this thing. Yes, I am saying it can go up or down. No, I don't know which option is going to happen. Yes, I am going to prepare you for either outcome. So at the end of the day, you're as prepared as possible. Option number one, we see this thing break back into this channel. If Render's price breaks back into this channel, I am actually going to open up a tiny, small, guys, real small, leverage long trade on Render, expecting it to try to retest back towards the upside, possibly anywhere from $9.50 to $10. Okay, it won't be a lot. It won't be huge. Maybe 3x, 4x, something like that. And looking for a 15 to 20% move to the upside that I can capitalize on a 60 to a 90% gain on. Okay, I will be setting a stop loss under this channel so that if any given point we see that long trade fail, I would know it failed because Render's price pulled back below the trend line. So break above the trend line, open up the trade. If it fails, it looks like this. I close it right here, not going to lose too much. If it succeeds, breaks back to the upside, close down the trade, and boom. The reason I'm doing that is because generally speaking, when you reclaim structure, when you break out of a structure like this, then you reclaim it, you re-enter it, you will generally visit the top side of it. That's just normally what happens. So I want to try to open up a little small, tiny leverage trade just to see what happens. Now, under the circumstance that Render's price does not do that, under the circumstance that Render's price rolls to the downside, I'm not going to be doing anything until I can figure out whether or not Render's going to try to set a higher low or not. If Render's price can set a higher low, what it's going to look like is a back test here, a pullback, maybe a bounce back towards $7.11, and it's going to come right back up here. Okay. Under these circumstances, I'm really not going to do much. I'm just going to wait. Okay, I'm not going to really do much. I'm just going to wait because I need to see if Render's price is going to inevitably be able to break back into this structure or not. And if we're getting higher lows established, the likelihood of that is higher and higher. And I don't really just want to be buying in here because it's just a risky game to be playing. You just don't know when this might happen, right? And so because of that, if we set a higher low, not going to be doing much buying until we enter back into the structure. I will explain that to you if the time comes. If the lower low is established, if Render's price does break below this previous point right here, I will be doing a ton of buying because I do expect that some given point from there, we will start to look to see this thing reverse, and I would like to be buying on these massive points of support down here. And so, of course, there's a lot of options, okay? Option number one, we break back into this thing. I open up a long trade, stop loss set below the ascending line. Option number two, Render comes back down, finds some support and retest, looking to find a higher low. I'm just going to wait this thing out and see if we're capable of breaking back in. Option number three is Render's price comes back to the downside and starts losing this previous points of support, at which point I would be doing a ton of dollar cost averaging in my long-term portfolio, expecting at that point that these long-term macro buys will lead again to something like this, because this is what we've been doing. You guys know we bought Render down here. We bought Render at that $7.11 area, and since then its price is now pushed up for us about 10%. I'm not on leverage, that's a dollar cost average, but still, I don't care. It's beautiful, easy gains, and I am ready for whatever Render does. Guys, I think you need to understand this. I see these comments all the time. So you're saying it can go up or it can go down, and that's how I know you're new here, okay? When you're new to the world of crypto, you expect people to tell you what's going to happen. Okay. When you're not new to the world of crypto, you expect people to help you prepare for any outcome. And that's what we do here on the channel. I say, listen, I can't predict the future and I don't want to cause you risk by me hoping that my ego is boosted because I'm right. What I want to say is, if this happens, I'm doing this. If this happens, I'm doing this. So that no matter what happens on this realm of possibilities, we are as prepared as possible to take advantage of it and make gains. And that's why we've been around for 4 to 5 years now. And that's the reason why we've been doing so well for the last 4 years. It's not an ego game, it's a numbers game, and you need to understand the realm of possibilities, and that's what we do here. And so with that said, guys, of course, I hope you guys do enjoy these quick updates, letting you guys know my game plan, letting you guys know exactly what I'm doing. If you want to see more content, I do have a Discord server down in the description below. It's a private Discord server that you can see the things that I'm buying, other creators are buying, you can see seminars, live streams, and much more. It's all down there for you, so make sure you do go check that out, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.